Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, all the hip hop heads worldwide, tengo el honor de presentar al único, inconfundible, the one and only EllMatic, yo. Yeah. Con la colaboración del 90 Kid, my man, Rick Santino. Give it up, give it up.
Yes, welcome back to another episode of Fan Talk. I'm your host Selecta, and today we will be discussing the 27th game of the Bundesliga, the Derby, the Berlin Derby, Hertha BSC at home in the Olympiastadion versus Union Berlin. Let's go! Bruno Labbadia again decides to go with the proven tactics and formation from the Hoffenheim game. So we come out in a 4-2-3-1. The only change that he did is he moved Cunha from the attacking midfielder position out to the left wing, and he dropped Darida in, who had just gotten over his one-game suspension for accumulation of yellow cards. On the bench, we find two really exciting young prospects from the Hertha Academy, as in Marton Dardai, one of the sons of our former coach Paul Dardai, and Lazar Samardzik. I hope I said that right. But a player that we have all been itching to see. And he got a start, not a start, and he got playing time. Amazing. I mean, everything was already set up for an amazing game, and man, I just gotta say, redemption! And now, champions of Berlin! Yes, let's go, man! It's like 3-0, 4-0, what's next? 5-0 in Leipzig? Anyways, let's not look ahead too much. Let's look at the first half and how things played out a little bit. So, the first half had a little bit of a typical Hertha first half feeling. We're just kind of feeling them out. Now under Bruno Labbadia, we have a lot of possession. We were the more effective team, as in getting chances in front of goal. There was a big chance by Luka Bakio that he could have took, where he hit the Union keeper in his sweet spot. But lots of tackling, lots of yellow cards. I think Grujic, Luka Bakio, and somebody else got a yellow card early there was somebody from Union. It was a very tactical first half. Nobody was trying to make mistakes. We saw a high press. Oh my God. Multiple times when they played the ball back, our midfield and strikers and attackers would move up a little bit. So you would have Cunha, Ibisevic, Luka Bakio not so much, but Darida and sometimes Shelbred doing a high press that would really put a lot of pressure on the Union back three. So they couldn't, it was 4 against 3 at this point, so they couldn't push the ball back and forth. Now they had to kick it high up. And Bruno was smart enough to leave Grujic sitting deep as a holding midfielder, because he was tall and he would help defending those long balls that Union were playing to try to free themselves. Really nice. He also had a nice tactic that he designed to throw Union off a little bit and utilize Cunha not just on the wing, but to also bring him up as a striker. And for this, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the whiteboard. Alright, this right here is our 4-2-3-1, and I promise that in future episodes I will be a little bit more professional with the whiteboard, as in hang it up somewhere and not have it here propped up on my seat. But being a new father, I can get away with these things. So, we had Pekarik, our left back, Boyata in the center, Tornariga, and Plattenhardt. Then we had Skjelbred, Grujic, Dori Luka Bakio, Vladimir Darida, Mateusz Cunha, and Ibisevic. What I noticed repetitively in the first half that happened, and that I think is a really cool strategy, and I feel like he might use them again against certain opponents, was when we were in possession of the ball, a lot of times you would see Plattenhardt make a run from out here, from center back, all the way up here, like he was our left wing, all while Shelbred dropped back to support build-up and to secure the defense. I would assume the Grujic rotates a little bit more in the middle. And then, highly interesting, now that Plattenhardt is up here, I'm going to put him here as black, Cunha pushed up here and became our second striker. And of course, Ibisevic moved a little bit to create this space. So now we try to get numbers. Remember, they had 3 defenders with 4 midfielders and 3 strikers. So basically, they were playing a 3-4-3 in ball possession and a 4-3-3 defensively, where basically they always would rotate one of the midfielders to make a back 4, depending on which side the ball was at. However, what this allowed us to do was utilize Plattenhardt's great ability to cross the ball in, make runs up here, and then cross the ball in. And Cunha and Ibisevic, Cunha works really well also when you play with 2 strikers. So then having Ibisevic over here and Cunha here, and Darida kind of like a little bit of a floater. He could come back if he needed to defend, or he could then distribute the balls to either these guys, and they could also get crosses from over here. And of course, not forgetting this side, but this side was kind of acting normal, where Pekarik every now and then would overlap Lukebakio would kind of stay a bit truer to his position, every now and then cutting in, but just to make space for Pekarik, which is the normal behavior when you have an overlapping wingback. But I thought it was really interesting to see Skjelbred dropping back as a left back and him coming up, really occupying that role and actually staying up there too at points in time. Of course, when we lost possession, we would kind of revert back into a defensive shape. But this was really cool, and I have a feeling that if we play Plattenhardt and Cunha, that we will see this a lot more often. Now, should Mittelstädt come back, I think you don't really need to do this, because Mittelstädt is excellent at crossing the ball in and can go back and defend. So these two can fluently switch positions. You wouldn't have to bring an additional ball winner back here on defense. Bruno Labbadia clearly had a plan, and it was visible to everybody. He was not trying to lose this. So at halftime, it's still 0-0. Yes, we have more of the ball, but we also know that it only takes one standard situation for Union to score. They are one of the most dangerous teams, if not the most dangerous team on standard situations. So we needed to score to win this. And we need to score rather early, because the longer you waited, just like in the first game, something happens, they get a penalty, a standard situation, a corner, something. So he must have gone into the locker room, and I don't know what he told the players, but it worked. In the second half, what was it? 11 minutes into the first half, the identical goal that Ibisevic scored against Hoffenheim. This time it was Plattenhardt on the left, crossing the ball in, Ibisevic making their run to the near post, headed it unstoppable in. That was an identical copy. Again, a Bruno Labbadia hand signature type goal. Amazing. I was going crazy. I had some people over here that were doing nice social distancing. They were going crazy. Fantastic. And just a minute later, again, Lukebakio said Ibisevic with a turn and pass assist on Lukebakio, who uses his speed to get past the Union keeper and scores from a really tight angle to make it 2-0. Amazing. I mean, I was in euphoria. 64th minute, Cunha's goal. I know you guys have seen this. If not, you need to see the highlights. Cunha, I thought that he was going to try to do something similar like he did against Hoffenheim, where he goes baseline towards goal. This time Union cut that angle off, so he had to come back. He jukes about 2-3 people, gives a pass, a chip pass with the outside of his foot into the center of the box. Dodi Lukebakio tries a bicycle kick, misses it. Ibisevic, the big target man, traps the ball, slaps it back to Cunha, and Cunha just lets it rip from almost outside the box, or on the edge of the box, to the far post, bottom corner. Amazing team goal. Amazing team goal. And of course, in the 77th minute, Boyata with redemption for causing the penalty in the away game. He comes in for a corner kick and just splits 2 defenders and buries it via header in the back of the net. Oh my God. Berlin City is ours. We are the number uno in the capital, la ciudad. Boom, Berlin, capital champions. 4-0, man. It could not have come sweeter at all. They did everything they had to do. Eerily enough, with the tough first half where there was a hit to the face against Torunariga and a couple other fouls. Marko Grujic fouled one time really hard and a whole bunch others. I kind of had the feeling that this was a real derby. Even though nobody was there, it still had all the energy and the tackling and the hard hits from a real derby. However, I was wondering what would have happened if you had this first half and then you pair it with the fans being there. I don't know. I feel like it could have been a lot of pressure for our players. So maybe we're some of the few teams that profit from there not being spectators right now in the stands. It's weird because, we want to be there, we want to have the atmosphere. It was weird. But at the same time, my gut feeling tells me that Hertha might have not performed the way they did if 75,000 people would have been there. Screaming at every tackle, on every foul, whistling, booing the ref. I don't know. Something in my gut says that, this was good. This is good right now. This is good right now. Look at the results. It must be good. Something must be right. It cannot just be Bruno Labbadia. Let's hope it is. But I feel like this little break without the pressure from the spectators is really benefiting us and letting us settle down, take a breath, concentrate on what's in front of us without any distractions. So, yeah. To me, Ibisevic was clearly the man of the match. In 3 of the 4 goals that we scored, he had a hand in. He scored one, and he basically assisted the other 2. Fantastic. He did that pass, that turn and pass to Luka Bacchio, and then he just dropped the ball off. Really nice for Cunha to take that rip at goal. To me, man of the match. I think he even showed up in the 11 of the game day. Him and Boyota and Jahrstein, really good. I was looking at the stats of the game, right? Because I always like to discuss the stats. And it's really weird that on my Fox soccer match day where I watched the games and on Kicker, there was such big differences in some of the numbers. Possession, 55%. Okay, we're home, we're playing possession style soccer, perfect. Kicker said that, yes, we also had 50%, they say. They also said that we had 15 shots and 4 on goal, which it didn't seem right. And in the Fox it said 14 shots on goal, shots with 8 on goal. They also said that we won 53 tackles. Kicker said 50. And Kicker said we had 84% passing, and Fox said 89. Either way, I'm mad happy. And I think 89 visually seemed really what it was. We didn't have a lot of wayward passes. Yes, every now and then in build-up play or in the last third you lose the ball, but that's expected. You cannot, otherwise it would be like basketball. You score every time you go down to the hole, right? But yeah, 89%, oh my God. Bruno Labbadia, thank you for joining us. This is amazing. Overall, fantastic team effort. The only person you could single out and say didn't have a really good game was Luka Bacchio. Yeah, he scored with a fantastic solo, but he also missed a lot of clear-cut chances. They were not 100%, but they were high percent chances that for somebody that costs that much money, you would expect to score, but he's finding his form again, and he's doing so at a rapid pace. So I'm not going to complain. These are luxurious problems, first world problems, or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, amazing. Cunha, 4 goals in his last 4 matches. This young man is out of his mind. Mateusz Cunha, again, the best transfer this winter. Piontek, feel free to prove me wrong, And here comes the stat of all stats. In the last 2 games, Hertha allowed 2 shots on goal. Could we have dreamt this up? No, under Klinsmann, oh my God, Bruno Labbadia, whatever it is that you're doing, man, keep doing it. This is amazing. I am so happy. Also interesting that Grujic, who under Dardai was more of an attacking-minded player that always went forward a lot, in this game stayed back. And it was so smart because they have a striker by the name of Anderson who scored like 80% of his goals with his head. He's tall, he's a good header with the ball. I mean, yes, we have Torunariga and Boyota back there, but then we drop Grujic as a defender additionally to defend crosses, long balls that were played out. Genius. And yeah, Skjelbred then was able to push up a little bit higher, not as a playmaker, but as an early ball winner. We played this high press, and Skjelbred is energetic. He paired with Darida running, closing the passing lanes and hard tackling was ideal, was really good. It was a sensational match plan. I wonder if Dardai could have came up with a scheme like that. I know his playing style was a little bit different, but he was also very defensive oriented and smart. I mean, remember what he did against Gelsenkirchen when he told Duda to just lock down Rudy, and we won in Gelsenkirchen for the first time in a long time. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Lazar Samardzic gets a 10-minute appearance and he looks good. Yes, he's on the brink of making that next step, but he looked good. I've seen some little chips and he didn't make that big of an impression on the game, but I was watching him really closely. I even rewatched the game just to see what he was bringing, and he looked really good. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a really good player that's waiting to get more and more playing time. Another great news, Nankam, who supposedly was on the brink of signing a contract with Hoffenheim, signed a contract with Hertha BSC because his dad intervened and was no son. His dad is his agent and he pushed him towards Hertha. And I think in the end he's really happy because he went on social media and he said this is a dream come true for him as well. He actually wanted to go with Hertha. Maybe he didn't feel the love at first on the former coaches, but now that Bruno Labbadia is there, gives him playing time, he joins us, and I'm happy because that boy, him and Lazard, they are just lighting up the U23 for Hertha. Really good. Super happy. What also makes me happy is that Maya dropped back into the squad. He got some playing time. Piontek came on there for Ibisevic to see out the end of the game, and Dilrosun also came in to get some time. Currently, he is playing, and I must repeat myself again probably, but he's building on experienced players to see us through, and I think it's smart at this point. But he's slowly incorporating the young talents in it again because he knows in the long run he's going to have to work with them and not with, who knows, maybe Ibisevic will extend his contract, but Skjelbred is going to be gone. Who knows what Darida is going to do or what role he's going to play in the future. But I love it that he's pushing them back in there and also sending a signal to the youth guys like, yo, you guys will have your moment. Just when you go on, give it your all. Show me what you can do. Again, Skjelbred, Darida are a magnificent duo. Super happy. And as a icing on the cake, we're not just the champions of Berlin, but everybody that was between us and Europe. Wolfsburg sitting in that number 7 spot where we want to go to lost. Yes, we still have a tough schedule. And we cannot expect them to lose majority of their games. But again, it's a little glimpse of light, a little hope that maybe Bruno Labbadia can take sand and press it into diamonds. And who knows, maybe we can get close or maybe we can get there. I don't know. But the higher we are on the table, the better it's going to be financially for Hertha, because at the end of the season, the standing, you'll get allocated certain amount of money for the next season because you are a more attractive team. So let's keep climbing, let those guys keep losing. I kind of peeked at the schedule for Wolfsburg already a little bit, and they got some lower bottom of the half, lower table teams in there, but they also still have a couple cracking games. I think they still see Bayern and so on. And yes, we will analyze what is possible once we get a little bit closer to the finish line. I promise you guys that. I'm going to do an in-depth analysis of everybody who's in front of us and so on. But I also compared what I saw from them with our schedule, and it's going to be really tough. I mean, we got like, give or take, 6 points that we need to get, and then we still got Leverkusen, Gladbach. I mean, those are going to be really tough. But we have at least 6 more points that I feel we can easily get. I think against Augsburg and I want to say Mainz, but I'm not too sure. I need to look it up. Like I said, I will do an episode. I promise you guys I'll do an episode on it. But now, let's look ahead. Who is next? Next up, away, Hertha BSC away at the 28th match day of the Bundesliga in Leipzig against Rasenballsport Leipzig. It's going to be a tough one. I mean, they just murked Mainz 5-0. Werner is in top form. What are we going to do to contain that? Poulsen and Konate, two fairly good players that are usually starters for Leipzig, are out. But so is Stark, Rekik, Askachiba and Wolf. Now, okay, we can keep the back four intact. I agree, it's nice. Maybe you'll bring in somebody fast for Pekarik, Klünter, but Klünter, he's like day and night. He can give you a great performance or he cannot. Because I think when it comes down to the skill of tackling, Pekarik is a little bit more solid. But Klünter is a little bit faster to maybe contain a Sabitzer or a Werner. We need to figure out a nice scheme how we can stop their speed. I assume Bruno Labbadia is going to go just a tad bit more defensive. Maybe he'll switch to a 4-4-2, which I think is going to happen with maybe Ibisevic and Cunha up top. And then the question is, who plays on the wings? Shall we bring in somebody fast? I mean, Luke Bakio has to play. He's in good form or getting into really great form. But on the other side, on the left side, who are we going to put in? Are we going to put Milstedt up top? Would be a nice defensive option. Or are we going to gamble a little bit and put somebody like Dilrosun in, who is maybe a little better on the counter because he's faster, he can dribble more, he can win. I have a better feeling on a 1v1 with Dilrosun on the ball than with Mittelstädt. No respect to Mittelstädt. But yeah, will he go with a 4-4-2, a little bit more defensive with Mittelstädt, or will he bring somebody the likes of Dilrosun? Really excited. I have full faith in our skipper. I know he's going to do a good game plan. He has proven that he's capable of it. So if we manage to go to Leipzig and steal 1 or 3 points from there, then this should be an indicator and a signal to whoever is sitting in the number 7 spot that we are coming. And we have what it takes to get points and move up. I'm super excited. Let's take away that W in Leipzig, ladies and gentlemen. From Atlanta, Georgia, I'm your host, Selecta. Ha, ho, hey, Hertha BSC.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the hip hop heads worldwide.